Hi, I'm Rachel, the Good Witch of the Northeast, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing energetic forecast for the week ahead for the different elemental signs. So this will be for our air signs. If you have your sun, moon, or rising in Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, this reading is for you. It's been about 6 months since I filmed for YouTube, and it's feeling really good to be back. So what we're going to be doing, and because it's been a minute, I want to use this as a time to like reset, perhaps let go of things that don't serve me, find some new shit that does. So work in progress, shall we? Because like for some reason I was like, it has to be perfect, and I can't do that because then I'll never fucking do it. So regardless, we're doing it. So we're gonna use a couple different oracle decks. I got tarot, and then we'll use music like towards the end as like a little affirming for our message, if you will. So we're gonna do a little check-in for our air signs. What does this week coming up have in store for you? Because I know for me personally, if I don't feel like the rug's being pulled out from underneath me, I do a little bit better. So let's see. Air signs, what do they have to look forward to? What is coming down the pipe for them? So we have two different oracle decks that I like to put together just to kind of get a read on the energy, just because it can be hard to like get specific when I'm doing like a big collective read of people I've never met before. So anyways, interesting. There's one more. If there is, then I will mention. Okay, so there's something with the 5 too, the number 5. 5 can represent, what is that, cycles closing, I think? Positive changes, things like that. 515 specifically. I wonder why. These are not yours, okay. All right, so you guys are doing a lot of separation. It's interesting because the other collective I just read, they were doing a lot of healing with like their mother wound when it comes to like nurturing and grief. And you're doing a lot of healing with a feminine energy, the feminine, and I don't want to say narcissism just because like that word is thrown around so fucking frequently, and like I would like to use any other word. But it's almost like you were in your formative years, you had someone mold you that maybe didn't have the best, what the fuck, thank you. Any of these? Okay. I just looked down, there was like a clump of cards. I was like, are these theirs? None of them. So it's like you've been doing a lot of healing when it comes to like letting go of what you thought you knew. And that is a layer of grief in itself. You know, that's a complicated one too, because you're almost stuck with this. There's like a hair stuck to my bracelet, I apologize. But you're doing a lot of letting go when it comes to like these narratives that you thought were true. That can be hard though, because there's a layer of anger that comes along with it. And if that's accurate for you, if you feel like you're angry, I'm begging you to honor it, because it won't go anywhere. And you can use it to your advantage. Look up sacred rage, look up how to transmute anger into power. Like this will be very beneficial for you, especially because I think your intuition, there's something I'm hearing like, aha. So I think that while this is a little bit an alarming thing for you, I think there's something inside of you that either knew, you're claircognizant yourself. So you have a really strong gut intuition. You can read people really well yourself. So I think there's something of like, you knew that this would happen. You knew that this was a possibility. Some version of you when you were a child could see the things, and then you almost were gaslit out of it. So I think it's like this reclamation of your truth. I went through that myself, and that was hard as fuck. But I beg you to honor that rage, because it won't go anywhere, and it will benefit you, to be honest with you. Honor the anger. It will benefit you. Absolutely. I think, especially if you are someone who vibes with like justice work, we can make this work for you. A magician in the mirror with a sacred temple. So there's something about, that's interesting. This overwhelming peace and power. And with great power comes great responsibility. I'm intrigued actually as I'm speaking, because I'm wondering if this narrative that you healed, this person that formed you, I'm wondering if they were fear-based, and maybe they're claircognizant themselves, but they didn't have anyone to help teach them. And in turn, there's just fear everywhere. If that's the case, like you can't fault someone for being scared. And fear makes people act all fucking types of crazy, you know? So finding peace in this new level of self-empowerment, I think will be very beneficial. That's probably what you can use to transmute the energy. If you're like, well, how do I do this? Instead of being angry, channel the anger into the fact that you are now the person that you needed. Honor that, celebrate it, allow that to kind of make you cocky for a little bit. I think that could be really beneficial, like almost like flex your wings with it. I don't know why I just did that. That's fun. The seventh chakra, and then your intuition in reverse. So yeah, I think you're very connected to the divine. I think you have a really strong intuition. I just think you write yourself out off a lot. Like, I think if we were in a conversation, you'd be like, this is crazy, but, and I'd be like, that's not crazy, it's your fucking intuition, silly. But I think that there was a lot of fear that you've been healing when it comes to like manifesting and when it comes to intuition and things like that. You got to remember that, like, for me personally, let me rephrase this. For me personally, I can tell what's an intrusive thought versus my intuition strictly because of how it lands in my body. Like, I'll get in the car and I'll be like, oh my God, I'm going to die today. My car is going to explode. Intrusive thought, whatever. My vape pen's going to explode in my car and I'm going to die. Intrusive thought. One day, 2 years ago, I got rear-ended. I got in a car accident, a really fucking bad car accident. And I knew that morning that I shouldn't drive. And not that I didn't want to, or anything like that. I just was like, I don't think I should go anywhere today. I really think I should stay home. And like, I was going to do something that I love to do. I was going to see someone that I love to see. But I was like, I don't want to. And it wasn't like, I don't know. It was just this real, and like, I was fine. I thank fucking God I was okay. It was awful. But that for me in that moment, looking back, doing my energy work and my meditation, now looking back, I'm like, that's how I can tell in my body if it's an anxious thought or not. Because that's a hard place to be. Because like when you're like, well, everything's intuition and everything's a message, that will literally sweep you up into spiritual psychosis. If you are someone who is starting their journey into the metaphysical, if you're someone who's starting their journey into this level of healing, you need to learn how to discern more than anything. And there are people that will come in and teach you and be like, my way is the best way. Don't listen to those people. Listen, take what you need and leave the rest. Do that with fucking everybody, because we're all individual people, so not one person's shit is going to work for everybody. But I think, yes, learning to discern will be very beneficial. I'm sorry I've talked so long at you. I feel like I've just talked at you for so long. I apologize. But it is all related, so why am I still apologizing? Fear in reverse, adjacent possibilities. You're starting whatever clarity, whatever truth was unveiled to you over the weekend, Thursday, Friday, whatever. It is changing your lens. You are now starting to see that there is more possibility. There is more open to you. You have more resources available. I do think that you're healing a lot when it comes to also like the divine masculine. Sorry to use such polar terms. But I think that there's a lot you're healing a lot when it comes to like what you know and what other people know, if that makes sense. Like, perhaps you always thought that someone else knew better than you, and now you see that person for who they are and you recognize that's not true. I just heard the words religious trauma, so that could perhaps be something you're healing as well. And that is a hard place to be. And for some reason, a lot of people do it around springtime. Like, this is my 5th year being a reader, like a collective reader. And there's always like huge fucking mass awakenings during this time. And it's always people with religious trauma. I wonder why. It's weird. It's like spring awakening. It's weird. But so if this is resonating with you, I urge you to make a plan. Like, treat this as one would a study, because this is a study. And like I said, there is so many avenues and so many realms that it can be overwhelming. So pick one avenue, stick with that for a couple weeks, and then shift. Especially if you have ADHD, use that to your advantage. Fucking special interest this shit, you know? I think you have a lot here. The 515, I think, has a lot to do with your inner child. And I think it's the fact that you were either parentified, you were like adultified at a really young age. You weren't able to have fun as a child. You weren't able to just exist and be yourself. I think you struggle I think creative is something you struggle with a lot, or finding what works for you. That's okay. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that that's okay, but that's okay. You know, beating yourself up is not going to get you anywhere. And if anything, what they want you to do is look at the reason why that is, because you'll be able to let it go. Like if you're like, oh, like I think if you struggle with, you're like, I can't believe I don't know how to play with my kids. But like, were you played with as a child? Like, did someone sit and play with you? If not, then how the fuck you gonna know how to play? You're not. So don't beat yourself up, and then in turn take that energy that you would have wasted beating yourself up, take that energy and funnel it and use it and be like, okay, what do I like to do and how can I incorporate my children into it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like you just got to learn how to shift gears. You know, it's like you've lived your whole life driving an automatic when life is really a manual, and you can just shift gears as you need to. You know, if that makes sense? I hope that makes sense. It's going to feel chaotic, but that's only because the scales are balancing. The scales are righting. I think you've gone through the last two years especially, but 4 years ultimately, but 2 years especially has been especially dark. I feel like it's been almost like I'm hearing like the Joker laugh, like that maniacal, terrifying laugh where you're just like, ooh, that's scary. He doesn't think something's funny. This isn't funny. You know, it's something along that energy. But it's because things have been so out of balance and so fucked up that I don't know if it's like the age of Aquarius that we've moved into, and that's what's going to shine the light on the fucking air signs, but it's the things are starting to turn in your favor. It's just the wheel is moving really slowly. You know, like one of the other collectives I just read, their message was to like apply divine trust. And I think yours is more about looking at your path with the view of divine timing. And remember that there is no wrong turns and that there's no wasted avenues. Like if you've gone through a venture and it didn't work out, you went through that venture for a reason. You have taken knowledge from that venture that will apply later. I think a lot of you guys too, you're moving into phases of your life where I don't know if these spaces exist yet. You know, I don't know if like it's hard to tell you to go look for a job that isn't built yet, if that makes sense. I think the world is aligning to a space that we've never lived before. So, but you're going to benefit from that. Keep an eye out for the hawks around you. They're trying to tell you something. That's individual based. You'll have to book a reading for that one with me or someone else. Doesn't have to be me. But I can't sit here and be like, this is why the hawks are following you. But keep it, if you're starting to see a plethora of hawks, pay attention. Pay attention. It's all good things. It has a lot to do with protection and power. But that, I would say for most of you, that means that things are either about to shift or you got something in your circle you need to pay attention to. We have Archangel Michael out again. And wait, is that? Yeah, it's Michael and Gabriel. So your root chakra and your throat chakra. So your heart is your throat. Sorry, I've been talking a lot today. Your throat and your root chakra. These are what's going to be the most, I think that's what's been the most suppressed throughout your journey. And so this next week or so, you're probably going to be hit with a lot of either like evidential, like aha moments of this is when it didn't work. And that's frustrating. Or you're going to be hit with a lot of like, how do I want to phrase that? You're going to be hit with a lot of realization, like a lot of exercises to practice patience, if you will. There's insight coming. And for now, you just have to trust that the divine, whatever you believe in, it will show up for you. Because it will. I swear to. And if only for the reason, because you're a good person. You've done the work. You're not a bad person. So you don't deserve bad things. And if you take nothing else away from my reading, take away the fact you're not a bad person. You're not a bad person. You don't deserve bad things. That's going to be the fucking caption for today. So we're going to do a song and some music and then go from there. Oh, it's so loud. I was dancing. One way that I transition between is I dance. So I was dancing. And it was bad from the Yin Yang Twins. So, you know, it's a banger. Speaking of bangers. It's like one of my best fucking lines of all time. Air signs, what do they got? Give them affirmations. Utilizing this anger to your advantage will be the most beneficial. I'm just trying to figure out which deck I want to use, sorry. My dog is barking because someone's walking across the street. Good job. Thank you. House is under attack. Sorry, I have to pause that. So there is, yes, this is going to be a week of, it's going to feel active. It's going to feel like there is a lot of energy coming, a lot of movement happening. Yeah, I'm being drawn to like the stress caused by positive opportunities. So taking a few minutes every day, you need to figure out a way, I will say this to you, this is going to speak to everybody. You need to figure out a way every single day to reset your energy. Stop carrying the shit from yesterday forward. You got to fucking put down the ghosts of the past. My dog is barking. Put down the ghosts of the past. There's a lot here about nurturing and spirituality. And like I said, that's going to look different for everybody, but I don't know. If you find yourself struggling and not knowing what to do, be like, what would Rachel tell me to do? I would tell you to be kind to yourself and try and look for the goodness. Like in the moment that you're in, look around, see if you can spot some good, see if you can spot some love, and tell yourself you deserve to experience that as well. Because you do. I love you so much. Things will get better.